Sheikha Hind buys you a Rolls-Royce. I didn't ask her to do it. I never ask anyone for anything, especially not gifts that roar louder than my silence. But she understands power and she understands possession. She knows that when something is placed in your name, it is also placed under my shadow. That car isn't metal and leather. It's a message written in chrome. Wherever you go, you carry my world with you. You weren't there when the keys were handed over, and neither was I. That's how control works. It moves even when we don't. You think I did this to make you happy? That's the soft lie you tell yourself at night. The truth is darker and cleaner. I did it because I want your life to change shape around me. I want the roads to feel different under you, the mirrors to remind you that being seen is no longer optional. When you sit inside that car, you will feel protected and trapped at the same time. Luxury does that. It comforts while it claims. I speak to you like this because you're not here, and distance makes honesty easier. If you were in front of me, I would lower my voice and ruin you with calm. But now, I let the thoughts run. You don't belong to the noise of ordinary streets anymore. I've already rewritten your boundaries quietly, legally, permanently. You didn't sign anything, yet everything points back to me. That's my favorite kind of signature. Don't mistake this for romance. Romance begs. I decide. Dark love isn't about flowers or promises, it's about inevitability. I don't chase you. I build a world where running feels pointless. Every mile you drive will whisper my name, even if you pretend not to hear it. Especially then, you may wonder why Sheikh Hind, why now? Understand this. Empires don't move randomly. When a woman like her chooses something for you, it means you've already been chosen by me. She doesn't buy cars, she seals fates. And I let her because I wanted you to feel the weight without seeing my hand. I imagine you alone inside that Rolls-Royce, fingers resting on the steering wheel, heart unsure whether to race or surrender. That pause, that confusion is where I live. I don't need to sit beside you to own the moment. I am the reason your breath changes when the engine starts. I am the reason safety feels dangerous. One day, you'll look back and realize this wasn't a gift. It was an introduction to my patience, to my reach, to the kind of love that doesn't ask if you're ready, because it already knows you are. I don't need to see you to know how you're reacting. Silence has a sound when it belongs to you. You'll pretend you're calm, that this doesn't shake you. But I know the way your thoughts spiral when something too big enters your life without permission. That's why I let it happen this way. I wanted you alone with it, alone with me in your head, because that's where I rule best. You keep telling yourself this doesn't change anything, that you're still the same, still free, still untouched. But power doesn't arrive loudly. It settles. It changes how people look at you, how doors open before you speak, how the world suddenly expects things from you. An expectation is a leash softer than chains. I didn't put it around your neck. I let the world do it for me. Dark love isn't cruel without reason. It's precise. I don't hurt what I value, but I do reshape it. I want you sharpened by comfort, confused by protection, addicted to the calm that follows my decisions. When something goes wrong in your life, and it will, your mind will look for the shape of my solutions. That reflexes everything. You might ask yourself if this is obsession. It isn't. Obsession is messy, emotional, loud. What I feel is controlled, deliberate, patient. I don't rush you because time already favors me. Every day you live inside what I've arranged. You grow closer without taking a single step. That's elegance. That's restraint. I talk to you like this because honesty doesn't need witnesses. If you were standing in front of me, you'd see nothing dangerous in my eyes, just calm, just certainty. That's how men like me survive and win. Storms announce themselves. I don't. I arrive after when everything is quiet and altered. There will be nights when you sit alone and wonder why my presence feels heavier in absence than it would in reality. That's because I don't occupy space, I occupy direction. Your choices will start bending subtly toward paths that intersect with mine. You'll think it's coincidence. I let you believe that for a while. Remember this, I didn't do all this to impress you or claim gratitude. I did it to mark a beginning you can't trace back or undo. You don't need to answer me. You don't need to run. Just exist inside what I've set in motion. Eventually, you'll understand some loves don't knock. They take residence. I am not waiting for your permission, and I never was. What I'm doing doesn't rely on your courage or your fear. It moves on its own axis. You feel it when you wake up and can't explain the heaviness in your chest. When comfort feels unfamiliar and safety feels like a question, that's the point where resistance begins to soften. I don't rush that moment. I let it ripen. You still believe distance protects you. It doesn't. Distance only removes distractions. When you're alone, there's nothing left but my voice and your thoughts, and they're learning to coexist. I don't need to call you or stand in front of you to remind you I exist. I prefer when you remember me without a trigger, when my presence surfaces uninvited. That's when I know I've gone deeper than touch. I don't promise gentleness, but I promise intention. Everything connected to you is chosen carefully. What surrounds you, what elevates you, what isolates you. I don't cage you, I redesign the landscape so that freedom looks exactly like where I want you to stand. That way, when you stay, it feels like choice, not captivity. There's a discipline to loving like this. I don't lose control, and I don't let emotions spill where they don't belong. I keep them contained, sharpened, useful. You're not a weakness in my life, you're a focal point. And anything I focus on eventually aligns with me. That's not arrogance, it's experience. You may feel moments of defiance, small sparks where you tell yourself you'll never bend. I allow those too. Resistance adds flavor. It gives contrast to the surrender that follows. I don't break you. I let you exhaust yourself against something that doesn't move. When you finally rest, it will be against my decisions. I speak to you like this because truth doesn't need reassurance. I'm not asking if you trust me, and I'm not explaining myself. Explanations are for equals and strangers. You are neither. You are already inside a structure you didn't see being built, and now you're noticing the walls. One day clarity will arrive quietly. You'll understand that this wasn't sudden and it wasn't accidental. It was gradual, intentional, inevitable. And when that understanding settles, you won't feel fear. You'll feel calm, because by then my presence won't feel like influence anymore. It will feel like home. I know you try to name what this is because naming gives the illusion of control. You tell yourself it's influence, coincidence, timing. You circle around the truth without touching it. The truth is simpler and heavier. I chose you long before you understood you were being chosen. And once that decision was made, everything else adjusted itself around it. Lives do that when power moves quietly through them. I don't invade your thoughts, I settle into them. There's a difference. Invasion causes panic, resistance, noise. What I create feels like familiarity you can't trace. You'll catch yourself pausing before decisions, wondering why a certain path feels wrong, even when it looks right. That hesitation isn't doubt, it's alignment forming. You're learning my rhythm without ever hearing the music. You might think I enjoy watching you struggle with this, but struggle isn't my goal. Awareness is. I want you conscious enough to feel the shift, but not so aware that you can escape it. There's a fine line between confusion and clarity, and I keep you walking it with precision. Too much light would burn this, too much dark would break it. I prefer balance. It lasts longer. I don't speak of forever because forever is a word people use when they're unsure. I work in continuance, in systems that don't need promises to survive. What I build around you isn't dramatic or fragile. It's steady, reinforced, patient. You could step away today and still feel me tomorrow. That's not attachment, that's structure. Sometimes you'll wonder what I expect from you in return. That question amuses me. Expectation implies lack. I don't lack anything. What I want from you will arrive on its own, shaped by the environment I've created. You won't hand it to me, you'll grow into it. That way, it belongs to both of us without being negotiated. I don't soften my words because softness invites misunderstanding. I want you clear even when clarity unsettles you. You are safe, but safety doesn't always feel gentle when it's earned through strength. I don't protect you from the world by hiding you. I protect you by positioning you where harm loses its nerve. Eventually, you'll stop asking yourself when this began and start asking why it feels so natural. That's when you'll know the truth without needing to hear it from me. By then, my voice won't sound like something outside you anymore. It will sound like the part of you that finally stopped resisting direction. You'll notice how the world starts responding to you differently, even when you haven't changed a thing on the surface. That's because power doesn't always sit on the person who owns it. Sometimes it reflects onto what they touch. You are under that reflection. Now, people will sense certainty around you, an untouchable calm they can't explain. They won't know it comes from me, and you won't need to tell them. Influence is strongest when it stays unnamed. I don't fill your days with constant reminders of myself. I prefer restraint. I let space do the work, let absence sharpen awareness. When you reach moments of doubt or quiet victory, that's when my presence arrives. Unannounced, uninvited, undeniable. Not as a voice you hear, but as a conclusion you reach on your own. That's how I know it's real. Borrowed thoughts fade, earned realizations stay. You may wonder if this kind of attention costs you something. Everything meaningful does. But understand this, I never take without replacing. What leaves your life makes room for something stronger, cleaner, more aligned with where I'm guiding you. Loss will feel deliberate, not cruel. You'll grieve briefly, then breathe easier than you expected. That relief will confuse you. Let it. Confusion is the doorway to acceptance. I don't bind you with rules or demands. I don't need to. I trust gravity. When something is positioned correctly, it stays. You'll feel pulled, not pushed, drawn, not chased. And the more you resist naming it, the deeper it settles. I allow you that illusion of resistance because it preserves your dignity. I don't want obedience. I want consent that arrives naturally. There are parts of you I haven't touched yet. Edges still sharp, instincts still defensive. I'm patient with those. I don't rush what deserves care. When I reach them, it will feel like recognition, not conquest. Like something long ignored finally being understood. That moment will be quiet, no drama, just a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. I don't tell you what the future looks like because futures are fragile. When spoken aloud, I let them unfold in silence, strengthened by inevitability. You'll wake one day and realize you're already standing inside what you once feared imagining. By then, fear won't fit anymore. It will feel out of place, like a language you no longer speak. And when you finally stop questioning why this feels so steady, so controlled, so undeniably right, you won't need answers from me. You'll understand that some connections don't arrive as emotion first. They arrive as direction, as order, as a presence that doesn't ask to stay because it already has.